Hi guys, today's video is going to be on some tips that I've done and used to help grow my hair a lot faster and retain a lot more length. These tips will be in order of least important to most important, so stay till the end of the video to know my most important tips for growing long hair fast. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, it helps me out a lot. Also, disclaimer, please keep in mind that these tips are for people who are really serious about growing out their hair, and if you're willing to give up certain things and implement some things into your routine. You don't have to follow any of the things that I'm saying, and it's by no means the law of natural hair care. You can choose which one works for you. Not doing one of these won't make or break your hair growth journey, but it might slow it down a little bit. Please keep in mind that this is your choice to take the advice or not. Number 1, deep conditioning every wash day. Some of you guys might be rolling your eyes right now, but I promise this is important. I personally never use normal conditioner on my wash days. I believe in deep conditioning every single wash day, especially for people with tighter curls/coils, because we naturally do not have to wash our hair very often. I feel like it's important to deep condition every 1 to 2 weeks at the bare minimum, especially with heat or with a shower cap. By with heat, I'm referring to using a hooded dryer with a shower cap on while deep conditioning. You should be leaving in your deep conditioner for 10 to 30 minutes every time. I personally like to leave it in for up to an hour for good measure, but I don't do that every wash day. If you're very serious about your hair's moisture, then that's a great option. Number 2, wearing a bonnet 24/7. You should be wearing a bonnet regardless of if you want long hair fast or not. You should be wearing a bonnet every single night, but if you want to have some more protection to help your hair out and to help it retain length, then you should be wearing a bonnet as often as possible, especially while you're in the house. It seems very obvious, but the layer of protection to keep your hair from rubbing up against your couch, your bed, or just against your pillow will help save your ends more than if you didn't. It's very important for curly/coily hair to have constant protection against the elements and fabrics that might snag on your ends. I like to wear a bonnet until I leave my house, or unless I'm taking pictures or I have family and friends over. I'm really serious about wearing my bonnet and keeping my hair up and tucked away. Number 3, scalp massages. If you haven't been doing scalp massages already, you really should start. They're great for promoting blood flow to your scalp and giving your hair, especially the hairs that haven't come out of your head yet, a lot more nutrients and promoting hair growth. I typically do scalp massages 3 to 4 times a week for about 5 minutes. Not only do they just feel good, they're really helpful for your hair's health and growth. I pair it with a hair growth oil so that I can maximize my results potentially. Don't worry, I'll talk about the DIY hair growth oil that I typically use later on in this video, so just watch out for that. But the scalp massages are one of the more important parts. Since we stand up for most of the time, and our head is upright, the blood doesn't flow to our scalp as well as it does our feet and stuff. So massaging your scalp can help the blood rush up there and help give your hair or scalp a little extra boost. Number 4, adding rosemary oil to your products. Now, when I say that you should add rosemary oil to your products, I mean only your scalp products. You can't add anything to your ends to help your hair grow faster, but you can add things to your scalp to help promote hair growth a little bit more. It's been proven that rosemary oil can cause thicker and longer hair, so I personally like to add rosemary oil to all of my shampoos and scalp scrubs and whatnot, just to get the benefits of the rosemary oil, even if I don't use my rosemary hair growth oil mixture. Number 5, DIY hair growth oil. Next is the hair growth oil that I like to use. I'll be making a whole separate video on exactly what I like to use in the hair growth oil and all the benefits of the ingredients that I use for them. But I will tell you generally what I like to use my hair growth oils. I like to use peppermint oil, jojoba oil, and rosemary oil. Those are the main ingredients in my hair growth oil that I feel like make the biggest difference. The other oils and stuff that I add in are just for extra benefits, but these ingredients are the main ones that I use to actually help my hair grow out a little bit faster. It's definitely not a miracle oil, and it won't make your hair grow 3 inches in 1 week by any means, but I only use ingredients that are proven to help with hair growth. In the future, I do want to make an experimental video and see if the hair growth oil does make my hair grow any faster, but that video will come when it comes. But I use jojoba oil as the main oil because peppermint and rosemary oil are just essential oils. So if you only use peppermint and rosemary, it can burn you. So please be careful when making your own hair growth oil mixtures and stuff, and make sure that you're not using too much of any ingredients that may cause more harm than good. Please do research before making things like this. I'll have a full-length video on my hair growth oil soon enough though. Before we head on to tip number 6, please hit the like and subscribe button and comment down below any tips that you plan on using, or if you have any tips that you've personally have used that's worked for you. Number 6 is trimming your hair every 3 to 4 months. The reason this is really important to me is because I've lost a lot of length due to not trimming properly. If you didn't know, you should be getting trims as often as needed. But if you do not get your hair trimmed as often as it needs, then your split ends will split all the way up your hair, causing you to cut off a lot more hair than necessary. I made that mistake a couple of years ago, and instead of having to cut off maybe an inch or 2, I had to cut off about 3 or 4. I wish I just stuck to my trimming schedule and cut my hair when needed so I didn't have to do all of that. I highly recommend sticking to a trimming schedule just to make sure you're not losing track of your time and how long you're going in between trims. So I personally trim every 3 to 4 months. Some people think that's too often, but for me it's perfect considering I wear my hair out a lot when I really shouldn't be. So if you have your hair up and tucked away most of the time, you never really wear your hair out, and you don't really do wash and goes, then maybe you don't have to trim your hair as often as I do. But please keep in mind everyone's hair is different, and what works for me may not work for you. Number 7, never dyeing or bleaching your hair. I don't recommend dyeing or bleaching your hair while you're on your hair growth journey, because the dye and the bleach can cause more problems for your hair down the road than necessary. I used to bleach and dye my hair a lot about 2 years ago, and I had to cut off around 2 to 3 inches of hair because of the bleach and the dye. It wasn't because my hair was damaged or anything, it was simply because of the maintenance of it was too much for me to handle, and I got way more split ends way easier than if I just didn't bleach or dye it. I highly recommend you to avoid bleaching or dyeing your hair, but if you're going to, please do your research on the things that you need to do safely and to maintain your hair throughout the bleaching and dyeing process. I do have an option for those who love to dye their hair but don't want the damage that comes with it. I have a brand called Afro Artist, and we offer temporary hair paint that's washable and will not damage your hair at all. It can last up to 7 days, and we have 5 colors so far. I'll have the link down below if anyone's interested. Number 8, never using heat. I know a lot of you guys are going to be looking at me sideways for this one, but this is very, very important in my opinion. I probably would have had tailbone length hair by now if I had avoided heat as much as I do now. When I say use heat, I don't mean using a blow dryer to dry your hair. I mean blowing it out straight. You can use a hooded dryer or just dry your hair with a blow dryer just to make sure that your hair is dried properly. But if you are doing blowouts specifically, very often, I don't recommend that. I used to overdo the blowouts, and I would be blowing out my hair every 2 weeks, even with a heat protectant, and basically my hair ended up being fried. Then again, I didn't go about blowing out my hair the proper way to ensure that I would have no damage from it, and I also didn't do any treatments to help my hair with the potential heat damage that I would have had. So I ended up needing to cut off a lot more hair than necessary. I now only blow out my hair for my videos, and that's maybe once every 3 months. But soon, I want to be able to not blow dry my hair at all at some point. But being a hair YouTuber makes it a lot harder considering there's a lot of styles that involve blowing out your hair, specifically for tutorials. But if you have the privilege to not have to do your hair, especially with heat, please take the opportunity to spend at least 3 to 4 months not putting any kind of heat on it. And if you do end up following that routine, you're going to be really happy that you did. Number 9, taking supplements. Disclaimer before I recommend anyone to take supplements, please do your own research on if it's safe for you to take supplements or consult your doctor first before trying any of these. I'm just going to tell you what worked for me. I personally like to use MSM powder/pills or biotin to help give my hair more of a boost when it comes to hair growth. I believe that hair growth starts from the inside. It's more important to take care of your body first than to put a bunch of things on your scalp and expect a miracle. I've been trying to eat a lot cleaner and drink a lot more water just to help my body function the way that it should. And I like to take the supplements to help me in my hair growth process. MSM powder is the one that I like the most because biotin breaks me out personally. And I've noticed that MSM does not break me out and it works just as much. For some people, biotin might work better, so you really just have to see which one works for you the best. But I like to take those supplements personally, and I take them with vitamin C to help my body absorb them better. So just with a glass of orange juice. I like to be consistent with taking the supplements more than anything next to helping me retain my own length that I've already grown. That's the most important thing than making your hair grow faster. Just making sure that the length that you have grown stays on your head. And lastly, number 10, keeping your hair in a low maintenance protective style. This is my most important tip of this entire list. I believe low maintenance protective styles are the main factor in helping you grow out your curly or coily hair. It's very hard to grow out coily hair when your hair is always out in a wash and go and whatnot. I like to do mini twists on my hair. It's really versatile and it helps me retain my hair's moisture. I also do mini braids occasionally and braid outs and twist outs. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten the chance to do them the past couple of months because I've been producing so much content. But if you are able to do a low maintenance protective style and keep it in for 1 to 2 weeks before taking it out and washing it out, you really should do that. I like to keep in the twists for 2 weeks, then taking them out, washing my hair, and putting them right back in. I would do it a lot more if I was not a content creator though. I wish that I could do them as often as I used to because those help me grow my hair out a lot. Please find a protective style that you love and that you can just keep up with and stick with as long as you can. Make it pretty with some hair beads and stuff. But I promise if you leave your hair alone and keep it moisturized, your hair will be flourishing really soon. Okay guys, those were all my tips and tricks on how I grew out my natural hair and how I grow it out faster. I hope these help you guys out. Let me know in the comments which one of these you plan on implementing into your routine, and if you have any tips of your own that's helped you grow out your hair. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, it helps me out a lot, and I'll be seeing you next Sunday.